Little People Big World star Zach Roloff has a proud daddy moment with his daughter, Lilah, Roloff. The duo appears to have the best daddy-daughter moment. The LPBW stars melted fans' hearts with their precious and beautiful update. Both Tori and Zach are fans of their children. They like to flaunt their kids' mischief and adorable details on social media. Tori is overwhelmed with emotions to share some gorgeous moments of her husband and daughter. Lilah has always been a true daddy's girl and likes to get the princess treatment. Being the only sister, she also loves getting all the attention from her brothers. Tori often shares glimpses of her daughter's adorable moments on social media. However, fans can't stop their tears after watching the heartwarming pictures. What did Tori share? What was so special about Zach and Lilah's moment? Tori and Zach spent many years of their lives on TV with their children. They documented their wedding and started their own family on the show. However, the LPBW stars faced a few challenges raising their kids in front of the cameras. After season 25, Tori and Zach announced their exit from the show. They were not ready to feature more years of their lives in front of the cameras. Zach and Tori are making new memories with their children and finding new income sources. Hence, fans always want to know whether they will ever return to the show. Well, TLC has most likely canceled the show because there are no more storylines to cover. Recently, Zach admitted on Jinger and Jeremy's podcast that he still sometimes thinks they could return to TV, but they can't decide. The reality TV couple is enjoying their time away from the limelight. Little People Big World star Zach Roloff loves gushing over his beautiful daughter, Lilah. He adores all his children equally, but he definitely has a different bond with his only daughter. Recently, Tori surprised her fans with an adorable update on her husband and daughter. She shared a series of pictures as the duo went for their daddy-daughter dance for the year. She used her photography skills to capture some precious moments of the duo. In the first picture, Zach and Lilah pose together as they smile for the camera. The former wears a gray pant, a white button-down shirt, and a silk tie, while his daughter wears a cute peach-colored frock with an elegant necklace and white shoes. In the second picture, Zach holds his daughter's hand as he looks down at her with love and warmth. Lilah has a white corset with multicolored flowers on her wrist, while her dad has a matching boutonniere on his shirt. Moreover, Tori shared other photos of Lilah talking with Zach and her brother Jackson. She gushed. Lilah was tickled. "I love these moments so much," before calling her daughter a total puddle. Fans couldn't stop gushing over Lilah and Zach's precious moments. One fan said, "I cannot handle how precious every picture gets." Another user pointed out the proud smile on Zach's face. Little People Big World fans have been wanting updates on Jackson Roloff, Lilah Roloff, and Joja Roloff since the family show was canceled after season 25. Based on the latest updates making the rounds, the kids are back in the spotlight. So what's the latest? Before Zach Roloff and Tori Roloff announced that they were leaving Little People Big World after season 25, most fans assumed that the show would continue, with Jackson Roloff, Lilah Roloff, and Joja Roloff being the main focus. As much as Little People Big World fans got tired of Matt Roloff, Karen Chandler, Zach Roloff, and Tori Roloff, the one thing that many viewers would have still tuned in for was to watch Zach and Tori's children. However, as fans know, Zach and Tori quitting the show eventually led to it getting canceled. So any hopes of seeing their children grow up in future episodes were squashed. Since quitting Little People Big World, Zach Roloff and Tori Roloff have been focusing on their podcast, Raising Heights. They have used this platform to talk about their time on the TLC show, as well as other topics that are relevant to them, like living life as a family of little people. In a recent episode of the podcast, Joja, Lilah, and Jackson took over the podcast. The entire family of 5 was on hand to film a recent episode, and viewers got to see the whole family. While this was a fun episode for a lot of people to see, others called this out as desperate too. For some time now, Little People Big World fans have called out Raising Heights for running out of topics to talk about. The The way that a lot of viewers see it, Zach and Tori are milking episodes for the sake of bringing in a paycheck, often dragging things out for the sake of content. In this recent instance, with the kids taking over a recent episode, many people called out the husband and wife for exploiting their kids for content, and viewers had plenty of things to say about it. One commenter said, "Already running out of things to talk about. Putting the kids to work." Another commenter added, "No one, not even most parents, wants to listen to 30 minutes of little kids yapping." A third person chimed in, saying, "Of course they are BUs, the parents are too lazy to get actual jobs." Another person piled on, adding, "A lot of these celebrity type of podcasters seem to believe that they are so interesting that they will have tons to talk about for years and years. But in reality, without the producers and reality show scripts, they are super boring." What do you think about Zach Roloff and Tori Roloff using their kids for content? Zach and Tori share sons Joja Luke, 23 months, and Jackson Kyle, 6, as well as daughter Lilah Ray. 4. Zach Roloff is sharing why it isn't always easy to be out in public with his family. During the season finale of Little People, Big World, which aired on Tuesday, April 23, the father of 3 opened up about the differences in his family and how they handle feeling like they're being watched in public. "Our family's going to stand out, our whole life. You know, Tori being my wife and I'm her husband, me being short, her being tall, and our kids being short," Zach says in a confessional. "Our family's going to always probably stand out, but it's something you just kind of get used to. Sometimes it's annoying. We get sensitive sometimes. We make sure our kids are well behaved because we do feel like we're being watched. It's hard sometimes," his wife Tori chimes in. "That's also not their burden. We can't burden our kids with other people's burdens or expectations or judgments," Zach adds. During last week's episode, Zach and Tori, who share sons Joja Luke, 23 months, and Jackson Kyle, 6, as well as daughter Lilah Ray, 4, discussed Zach's conversations with Jackson about living with dwarfism. While roasting marshmallows around the fire pit, Zach recounted to Tori that Jackson recently asked him why his friend couldn't play AAA baseball. Zach explained to Jackson that his friend couldn't play because he wasn't a dwarf. "I'm a dwarf, what does that mean?" Zach recalled Jackson asking him, noting that he had to address the topic with his son earlier than expected. He was kinda just confused. He was like, "Why aren't other people dwarfs?" And I said, "That's because of how God made you and this and that," Zach said. He kinda laughed. He almost thought I was name-calling him. Later, in a confessional, Zach reflected on discussing dwarfism with Jackson. He said, "It's not a conversation I was prepared to have, but families have dwarfism. Those moments come up that you then have to talk about. You know it's coming, you know the questions are gonna come, and the curiosity about themselves. But I don't have it planned out in my head. It's just kind of however my kids bring it up. I don't think it's going to be a conversation. I think it's going to be more like moments," the dad of 3 continued. In February, the couple announced season 25 of Little People, Big World would be their last on their Raising Heights podcast, another season of Little People. Big World has come and gone. But for Zach and Tori Roloff, their chapter on the TLC reality show has officially come to a complete close. On Tuesday's season 25 finale of Little People, Big World, Zach and his father Matt Roloff remained at odds over their ongoing family drama about the sale of their family farm. After a nail-biting, but overall successful, fundraiser for the Dwarf Athletic Association of America, Matt's ex-wife, Amy Roloff, reflected on their son's fractured relationship with his father while out for lunch with her second husband, Chris Marek. When Chris asked if there had been any hope of the ice between the two thawing, Amy confessed that she was in the dark about the details of their feud, but knew their relationship had been changed forever. "I don't know. I mean, of course he's the father and grandfather," she said of Matt. "But I don't think they'll ever look at it as that father-son bonding relationship type of thing, no. Though Zach and Matt have their own issues to work through. Amy told cameras that she would always be around to help should they need mediation, but admitted she was grateful to have her own relationships with her kids intact. Elsewhere in the episode, Matt had his own date with his fiancée Karen Chandler, where they discussed the nitty-gritty of their rift with Zach and his wife Tori. After Matt revealed his plans to construct a playground on their property for his grandkids, Karen pointed out that Zach's children no longer come around the farm to visit. "I'm always hopeful that Zach and Tori will bring the kids around, and if not, the kids will be coming around later in life," he sighed. In a conversation with cameras, Matt confessed that he missed their children coming around often, while Karen claimed that the couple had lots of love and fun to give, and whoever shows up is going to get it. "I think we just come to terms that they don't want a relationship, and so, you just have to accept that," she continued. "I still care about them. I still love those kids and miss them. Just because it's now ended sad doesn't mean that that didn't exist. Those memories I'm holding on to." Karen added, "I don't know the future, so it doesn't look bright at this moment in time, but I'm not gonna give up hope. Just because we missed a couple years, well, there's always relationships to be rebuilt, and if they are, they are. That's great. And if they're not, it's not because we didn't want it." Later, Zach and Tori took their children Jackson, Lilah, and Josiah, months, to pick blackberries on their property. As he lifted Lilah up and down in the bucket of his red tractor, Zach reflected on his own childhood memories on the Roloff family farm, and how his children will never be able to have the same experiences. "No one's holding grudges," Zach told cameras of his rocky relationship with his dad. "No one's intentionally not going to the farm, there's just no interest. The kids don't ask, it's nothing we're hiding from them, it's just they don't ask, and they have their own space up here. When it comes to my dad, I don't know, dude, that ship's all sailed. There's not much of a relationship, it's just doing our own thing. Time may be even it out, but everything will be healed. It'll be different," he shrugged. At the end of the episode, Matt, Karen, Amy, and Chris met on the family farm to celebrate the success of their fundraiser. As Amy and Chris confessed that Zach and Tori didn't come over enough for her grandma room to be used, Matt opened up about his own sadness about missing out on their grandchildren's lives. When Zach and Tori said they were going to, isolate themselves to give themselves space, they didn't put a timeline on it, and we're 2 years into it, he explained. "And it's always sad when you don't get to see your grandkids and somebody can't seem to find healing or build a bridge." In February, Zach and Tori announced they would be leaving Little People, Big World following season 25. "We are not coming back to Little People, Big World. We are done," Tori, 31, began on their Raising Heights podcast. "That part of our lives, that chapter, has closed." Sharing his wife's sentiment, Zach replied, "I think the chapter has closed regardless of us being asked back or not. We've made it pretty clear we're done with that chapter for multiple reasons, the reasons we will get into here. But because we've made that pretty clear, they haven't asked us back, technically," he continued. "This last cycle was rough, between the family, the farm deal, and we are done with it." While Amy didn't want to hear the details of her ex-husband's wedding plans, Matt's fiancée Karen Chandler admitted she felt apprehensive about showing Amy her engagement ring. Amy Roloff has mixed feelings about her ex's new relationship milestone. On Tuesday's episode of Little People, Big World, Amy invited her ex-husband, Matt Roloff, and his new fiancée, Karen Chandler, over for dinner for the first time since learning of their engagement. As Matt, Karen, Amy, and her husband, Chris Marek, found their seats around the dinner table, Matt, 62, told cameras that Amy sounded great on the phone when he broke the news of their engagement, but admitted he was skeptical about her in-person reaction. Amy, 61, cut straight to the chase and asked Karen to see her diamond ring. While putting on her reading glasses and reaching for Karen's outstretched hand, Amy examined the new piece of jewelry and told her, "That's very pretty. Wow." In a confessional, Karen admitted, when Amy asked to see the ring, I would say I was a little apprehensive, who wants to do that? And the moment was just fine, and I think she's okay that we're engaged, probably expected it at some point. She's been really nice about it. After joking that Matt's second half of life is better, Amy confessed to having complicated feelings about her ex's engagement, but also expressed her happiness for the couple. It does feel a little funny to me, she told cameras. Matt's my ex, but I'll be okay as long as we don't get, nitty-gritty and personal. Like, I would never talk to Karen about Matt. I'm glad that she's not. Oh yeah, we're doing this together, Amy, did you guys do that? After announcing their separation in March 2014, Matt and Amy filed for divorce a year later in June. Their divorce was eventually finalized in May 2016. After 27 years of marriage, it is with great sadness that we have come to the difficult decision to file for divorce, the couple said in a statement to People at the time. We are proud of what we have accomplished together, including raising 4 wonderful children who have grown to become remarkable adults and building our strong and ongoing successful businesses. Our kids and our ever-growing family, and the love and support we have for them, will be our priority, they continued. We will continue to work together side by side in the daily responsibilities for our many current ventures. We would like to thank our family, friends, and all our fans for their continued support and understanding during this difficult time. In a previous episode of Little People Big World, Matt and Karen shared details of his touching proposal, which took place in their Arizona home. You sent to me. I've thought about this a lot for a long time and I want to grow old with you, Karen shared. That's what he said, and then I started to cry. She also admitted then she had no idea that the proposal was on the horizon, adding, come to find out, he's got, my parents on the hook and my friends on the hook. It was a tight circle that knew about it, Matt clarified, to which Karen said, it was my closest people, but nobody gave me any hints at all.